It's been 2 years and 2 Prime Ministers in the making, but the mining tax is finally set to become law. The bill passed the Senate last night and the Prime Minister has declared victory. Julia Gillard's also thrown down the gauntlet to the opposition to support the benefits the tax will buy, like a lower company tax rate and paying the tax concessions on a rise in compulsory superannuation. But the fight isn't quite over. It might end in the High Court, and shortly I'll raise that with the West Australian Premier Colin Barnett. But first to the tax built to ride the mining boom. It's a once-in-140-year cash explosion.
This is a remarkable period. Half the world is having an industrial revolution. That makes them incredibly hungry for commodities such as coal and iron ore.
The wealth washed through the entire economy. But the existing state-based royalty system only captured some of the rise in the value of Australian mineral exports, not the accompanying huge spike in profits.
The government thought, well, let's have a profit-related tax rather than something as simple as royalties.
So in 2010, the Rudd government announced a mining tax to capture the soaring profits. The basic idea was sound.
Our resources belong to all Australians, and Australians do deserve a fair share.
But the execution was execrable. It alienated the mining states.
The West Australian government does not support this tax. It is a bad tax in almost every respect.
And started a war with miners.
Weaken mining, you weaken the country.
That helped unseat a Prime Minister. So the Gillard government rewrote the tax with the world's biggest miners in the room. Last night, Mining Tax Mark II passed the Senate.
The ayes have it.
And an exultant Prime Minister is selling the benefits it will buy.
New tax benefits to small businesses and businesses around the nation, new superannuation benefits.
But therein lies the risk. The benefits are expensive and permanent, and the tax will be volatile.
It depends upon the exchange rate, when it depends upon volumes, and when it depends upon commodity prices.
Regardless of the merits of the individual components, you're going to have a volatile tax paying for less volatile costs. Always a tricky thing.
And in a concession to the big miners, the federal government is locked into rebating any rise in state royalties.
Those that are putting up their royalties will certainly not be in a position to receive the sort of funding that we've got in the infrastructure fund, which flows from the resource rent tax, because if they're taking away revenue, there's less revenue to the Commonwealth.
And there is a constitutional threat.
That this mining tax will ultimately be thrown out by the High Court.
But one keen observer believes the benefits of the mining tax outweigh the risks.
It's better than the old system of just royalties, and it's better than the original proposal of the RSPT. It ain't perfect, but it ain't bad.